The year is almost over. It's technically the 18th of December today, and let's be honest, I'm not going to do much more for the rest of 2025. So I think it's about time I reviewed my 2025 goals and how I'm doing and if I achieved all of them or a majority of them. So a quick reminder that when I set up my goals, I set them up with mindset goals and tangible goals in mind. So for the first time ever, I picked a word of the year, which I've never done, and I really like that people do that. And my word of the year, which I will not pronounce correctly, I apologize, is lagom, which I believe is a Swedish concept rather than just word that roughly translates by just the right amount. I put underneath some other words or expressions that represent the same thing in my head. So less is more, épuré in French, and peu mais bien. It means little but well, as in like good. So not much, but better quality, essentially. So the idea was to think longer term. And I wanted to do this in several areas of my life, writing, social media, books, clothes, and financial. And I think in general, I just want to make an overarching review to say that I think I've achieved that in a lot of aspects of my life, and I'm very happy with how my year has gone in relativity to that word and to that concept. But we can review sort of both my mindset goals and my tangible goals, and we're gonna try and do that efficiently. So my mindset goals in writing was to have less word count based challenges, more high quality writing, to work on less projects but have more quality time on each. And I think I've done this because I wrote an entire draft this year that upon rereading it I was very proud of my progress in writing, and I also finished revising The Art of Summoning Demons for the very last time. So I'm really happy to say that I've completed a book, which feels like it's something that requires more quality and less quantity, because you're at the point where you're like, let me reduce the amount of words and make sure that they're all very high quality words when you're doing the final draft. I've also not really taken part in many word count based challenges this year at all. I think I've set up some challenges for myself here and there, but most of the time they were just to finish an act of the book I was working on, which is Rules of Survival. Now, the tangible goals in my writing section, I did want to get back in the query trenches for The Art of Summoning Demons, and if that failed, I wanted to start my self-publishing journey. This is one of the big ones where I don't know how to answer, because I am currently having a lot of thinking around self-publishing versus hybrid versus traditional publishing, and I'm also having a lot of questions around The Art of Summoning Demons itself, which I'm currently doubting I can sell on either market. Like, I just don't think it's currently working with agents, even though I do feel like it's high quality now, especially compared to draft one, of course, but I don't think that it's going to get picked up by an agent. And I'm feeling like I don't know how to sell it if I were to try and go self-publishing with it. I just don't think it's currently right for either of those, and I don't know what exactly to do with it, because I don't want to fully shelve it, but I kind of want to temporarily shelve it while I work on other things that I feel are more current and I'm more proud of, such as my latest. This is for another video. I think I need to have an in-depth discussion about this and figure out my own feelings about it, so this is not something I can answer easily. However, I did consider the self-publishing journey. I am currently thinking about it, and I'm also thinking about the ways that I would approach it. So I'm going to tentatively mark this as checked, just because this is something that I have approached in Q4, not really Q3. Now, did I finish draft one of Knights of Death? No. However, I'm currently in December right now working on a new outline for the ending, because it did not quite work anymore and I needed to reread it and figure out plot holes. And now that I have done this, I feel like I might finish this early 2026. but I did not in fact finish draft 1 of Knights of Death. So that's a fail. And did I finish draft 2 of An Office for Monsters? Absolutely not. I did not touch that book at all this year, and I am fine with it because I kind of feel like Art of Summoning Demons, Knights of Death, An Office for Monsters, and Rules of Survival would have been in opposition with my goal of working on less projects but spending more quality time on each. That just would not have worked in reality. So I'm okay with that. I am glad that I can say, however, that I did finish draft 1 of Rules of Survival. So that one I can check, and that's the biggest one. So, I mean, it's a complete draft. You know, I'm happy with this. So that's for my writing. Now, my social media goals, I've probably failed a lot of these. I had in my mindset goals to have less social media platforms and to produce more intentional content for each. I also wanted to have less YouTube videos, but better content for each YouTube video that I do produce. I think having done my vlogging journey for Rules of Survival and completed that for draft 1 sort of answers that goal. That is close enough to what I wanted to achieve there. Now, I did have some tangible goals in mind, which were to post on TikTok, for instance. I posted a bit on TikTok. I don't think I did once a month, either in Q3 or Q4. It's so funny because I have not put any new goals on Q4 because I did not do a check-in of my goals after Q3. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think this counts. However, the general mindset goal does feel like it has worked out for me this year because I feel very proud of the series I've been doing on Rules of Survival, and I feel like it's a lot more in line with this concept. Now, my books goal, the mindset goals I had for my books was to buy less books I won't read, focus on my existing TBR and buy the book I want to read next every single time, to read more high quality books and to focus on learning or conversation opener books, memorable reads. I do feel like I've achieved that in general. I wouldn't say that I've been managing to buy what my next read is going to be every single time. I don't think that I've managed to do that. However, I have bought a lot less books, especially I've not been as influenced by people to buy books that I might not actually want to read. And I feel like every book I have bought this year has been with a true intention of reading it, and really because I want to, and I've thought about it, and I've looked at it several times on Waterstones, etc., rather than because I saw one influencer talk about this book and I was like, oh, pretty cover, I want to buy it, and then regret it because I'll never read it. And when it comes to high quality books, this is mostly translated into my tangible goal of reading 25 books in 2025, excluding Kindle Unlimited books and rereads, because those to me are easy, quick reads, and just I wanted to still read those, but also 25 books that felt more like high quality / conversation opener types of books. I don't know if that makes sense, and this is just for me. This is not a judgment of anyone else's reading habits at all. I can check now on Pagebound where I'm at with my goal, and I can go in my reading challenge, I think. Is it my stats? Yes, it's in my stats. So in my statistics, I have read 50 books in total this year, and I'm currently reading 2 that are literally right here that I will definitely finish as well because I'm reading them quite quickly. This is the 5th installment in the Thursday Murder Club, and this is a Japanese murder mystery short novel called Murder at the Black Cat Cafe. I know I'm gonna finish these 2, so that'll be a total of 52. In reality, there's quite a lot of rereads in there because I read a bunch of rereads while I was on holiday so freaking quickly, and I don't want to count these. I don't want to count these. So let's count only the ones that I've read that are new and feel like they're not Kindle Unlimited types of books, if that makes sense. How to Make Your Brain Your Best Friend, not quite dead yet. 7-Figure Fiction, which is non-fiction. Bury Your Gaze, The Mystery of the Blue Train, Hotel Horror, Murder in the Family, The Tokyo Zodiac Murders, The Story Grid, Mr. Magic, System Collapse, Murder at Mount Fuji, Our Last Echoes, Finlay Donovan is killing it, Write Your Novel from the Middle, The Drift, Ghost Station, The Full Moon Coffee Shop, The Space Between Worlds, The Book of Cold Cases, we're at 20, We Solve Murders, How to Solve Your Own Murder, Apprentice to the Villain, Feeding the Monster. That's 24, but I currently have 2 more that I know I will finish, So I will be over 25. Yes, I'll be at 26. There's also some books in there that are non-fiction, but were very quick, very short, like Write Your Novel from the Middle, I think was quite a short one, but it was good. I did really enjoy it. So the ones I'm not counting in there are the historical romance books, which I think I could count really if I wanted to, and the ones that are genuinely from KU, which are all of the alien romance books that are in there, the accidental marriage one, and all of my rereads of the Charlie and Harris True Blood books, and all of my rereads of the Vampire Academy books. But other than that, I have achieved my goal, so I'm gonna count it. There we go, tick tick. And then only buy one new book a month, 12 in total. I actually don't know how to double check this because I've been reading some of them, which was part of my goal anyway, to be able to read a book I've bought the same year, right? If I don't count the ones that I have read and are not on my TBR shelf as new books bought this year anymore, then I think I'm at 10 in total. So I'm gonna count this one as achieved. Tick. Tick on this one. Now, my clothes goals for the year, the mindset was to buy less items and better quality, to focus on more luxury items that will last a lifetime rather than poor quality, and to buy items that make more sense with my new fashion identity that work within my wardrobe. In general, I think I've achieved this goal overall. I think I was already thinking that way mid-year. I did buy quite a few more clothes around summertime when I realized I didn't have enough things I wanted to take with me on holiday, and I have just done a mini haul right now this month with Christmas gift money, not with my own salary money, and that is okay by me. And also they're all pieces that really were basics, including like a t-shirt with long sleeves that I was like, that's 100% cotton, that's gonna last a long time, a new Sherpa jacket that I think I'm gonna wear all freaking winter because it is so cozy and warm, a new pair of jeans because I've lost weight and I have several pairs of jeans that are just way too big and just float a little bit at the waist. Most of the pieces that I've bought were really necessary in my wardrobe, so I feel like this counts as the goal is achieved, right? Now, did I only buy in February, April, June, August, October, December? I'm gonna mark this as completed because I don't know exactly when I bought, but I bought less than this. I definitely bought less than half of the year. And did I declutter my wardrobe every quarter, end of March, end of June, end of September, end of December? No, however, I say this because I don't think I'm gonna spend some time decluttering this month because I'm too busy and I'm literally going home in 2 days. However, I have been consistently picking pieces from my wardrobe, not at specific times of the year and all at once, but every now and then I'd see a piece and I'd be like, I have not worn this over the entire last year, and more than that, I'm not gonna wear this again. And I did put it in a bag that I'm currently still emptying and bringing smaller pieces off to the charity shops because it's way too big and I can't carry the whole bag with me. But every now and then I take a smaller bag of items and I bring it to the charity shop. And I've done that several times throughout the year, and I still have some items in there that I need to declutter that are in that bag. So I'm counting this as achieved as well. And you can't stop me. Finally, my financial goal for the year. My mindset was to spend less money, to do more later. I have managed to reach my first saved 5k, which is not a lot for some people, is a huge amount for other people, and I'm terrified of saying actual numbers because I feel like that can be taboo. I will not talk too much about it, but I'm just really proud of myself because I really needed to ensure that I had some money to help in case things went downhill. And I'm very happy to feel safer and to have some more emergency funds. They're in investments, and I also have an extra bit over the top of that that is in actual emergency funds, that is in a high yield saving account. So basically I have money in several places that I feel happier and safer in my life if I were to lose my job or anything like that. If there's actual big emergencies, I have some backup. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to achieve that. I wanted to get to the point where I feel good about my finances, just in terms of I feel secure and I don't have to worry as much. That's all I wanted to get to. And in order to get to that, my other big goal was to change my mindset about money. And I think I've really achieved that. And that goes hand in hand with the clothes goal, if anything, because that was the big one for me, was buying clothes throughout the year that I did not need. just to get the instant gratification of buying an item I knew I was going to receive the day after or something. I have not needed to do that this year, and I feel like I've replaced that little high with the high of looking at my money when I'm putting it in my savings account and seeing the savings account growing, or when I'm putting it in my investments and seeing my investments growing. I feel like I've replaced that one high with a different high that feels better and healthier for my finances in the longer term. So I feel really, really good about where I'm at financially now. Did I save for house stuff? I did a little bit. I also did spend a little bit on house stuff, not a huge amount, and I actually need to save a lot more for big house stuff, and that's actually going to be next year. So I am not crossing that one off. I mean, I am crossing it off, but as in like it's not achieved. And that's it. That was our 2025 year, and I feel like scrolling back up and down, having achieved a majority of my tangible goals and feeling really good about all of my mindset goals, I feel great. I feel so happy that I've done this and that I have managed to keep a semblance of tracking of these goals throughout the year. But also feel really happy that I decided on a word and that I tried to make it work for my lifestyle and to change my mindset in several ways. I feel extremely satisfied about this experiment, and so I will definitely be doing it again in 2026, and I have already got in mind a new word for 2026, so I will need to think about it some more and make a new Notion page for you guys, and we'll talk about it at the beginning of the new year. On that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like, leave a comment down below. I always try to respond to those. Consider subscribing to my channel, ring that bell, all that jazz, and I will see you guys next time.